Praise to the Most High God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and peace to everybody in the name of Jesus. Peace to everybody on Facebook, and peace to everybody that's on Instagram. It's a blessing to be here. We got held up, so I apologize. We normally start earlier, but Brother Lee was here. He was able to take care of the question and answer, so praise God on that. You know, we hit a little storm blizzard on the way here, but hey, the Lord's merciful. We here. The title of today's lesson is Death is Death, but the Second is Death. And I title it like that because we have woefully lacking being taught the Word of God. I'm just putting it like that. Nobody's really understanding the book. They don't have no knowledge of what it is to be taught. They're not even taking the time to open the book up to read, because you got a lot of false prophets out here, and they are not teaching people what thus saith the Lord. A lot of people have been learning off a tradition of men, and that's just pretty much what has been taught, what people think and not what they know. And it's like that because you see it all the time. You see people say stuff like, you know, when somebody pass away or die, they say they go up to heaven. If you go to a funeral, they say the same thing. Their body's not here. Their body might be there, but the spirit is going up to God. See, that information is totally off course. And people don't understand the problem with that, because you have to get to the fact. I remember when my grandma passed and we had a preacher up there. It was like my first time actually stepping up and talking in front of people. And I said a little thing, but I had to show them something that was in Genesis. Because we seem to get away from the whole purpose of what death is. Right. And man, if you look and get some knowledge of how the creation is, man was never supposed to die. Right. But because they sinned, because sin was bring forth death. That's how death came into the play. So they had sinned. That means they broke the law, which is right now, talking about the law is like taboo. You're back in the same position you were way back then. Because the whole problem why we all die today, because nobody wants to die. If anybody say they want to die, they must not have all their screws. Nobody wants to die. But then again, the whole reason why we died is because we broke the law, which we all say in modern teaching now, you don't have to do and keep the law. That's why we got in trouble, brothers and sisters. That's why we're in the predicament we're in right now, because we didn't keep the law. That's the whole problem, and that's what happened in the garden. So in a nutshell, in the garden, the whole penalty for sin was death, and death reigned on all men from Adam. We want to know if the Bible is true, because sometimes people say, we don't know if it's true. Hey, you can look at it. Everybody die, right? Right. You ain't seen nobody that's been here living forever over 150 years. You ain't seen that. Everybody died, and that was the reason why that. So that's why I titled it Death is Death, because they want to make it seem like, and these are ministers, whether they know it or not, they're ministers of Satan. And they want to make it seem like when you die, it's like a homegoing. They have church service saying it's a homegoing. Don't feel sad, brother. Don't feel sad. Feel happy. No, it was penalty. It was doing something wrong, which was ultimately breaking God's law, not keeping the commandments of God. That was a penalty. And death is a horrible thing. It's amazing how they can make light of that. They make death like it's a great thing. In the same instance, when you crying and mourning and bawling out in tears. How is that possible? It is not a joyous occasion. It's a sad thing. The only thing going to be joyous is to know the scriptures, because that's going to get you to have some understanding on why death is death. But then after that, people fail to realize and ain't been taught that it's more than just this physical death. Because there's a such thing called a second death. So that's why I got titled Death is Death, because people don't really believe that it's death. But the second is death. Because that particular death, if you get caught in that, you ain't getting out of that. See, this first death, you get a chance. We got it all. We all got this death coming. You can't get out of this. But that second one, you got a chance not to get in that. Because once you get in that, hey, there's no escaping that. And that's what you want to be really prepared for. And we're going to read through the scripture to show you how serious it is that you should want to have no parts in that. But we got to keep in mind and understand that we have to read this book and understand what it is the Lord is showing us. We take this stuff too lightly. And people who are in the truth or start to get some understanding and understand what thus said the Lord, because that's the problem. We're not understanding what the Lord is saying. So once we start to understand what the Lord is saying, and then you on social media or you listen to people and they start saying their grandmother or their brother or their sister or their father up in heaven, some of that stuff you just be like, ugh. Almost like, you know, how Paul was. When he saw all idolatry around, your spirit grown within you because you understand how lacking the people are, how far away it is. And this is a simple lesson. But that just goes to show you how far people are away from God. Because they'll say some things like, when you doing good, they smiling down on you.
Right.
The Lord looking down on you. They up there in heaven with anything, you doing, look at my daughter, my sister, look at my sister, they doing good. But as soon as you do bad, they rolling over in the grave. We got to make sure we got some understanding in this thing. Because you just can't have it like that. And it's just, that's what happens when you deal with a lie. Because we know Satan, he's a liar from the beginning. Jesus told you that. So when you start dealing with him, nothing makes sense. But we're going to get into the lesson so that we can understand what death is death. Because actually they don't believe in that. But the second, that's really the death you want to avoid. Death is death. But the second is death. We're going to open up the book, Revelations. Revelation chapter 2. Revelation chapter 2. And we're going to read that one verse. Revelations 2 and 11. Go ahead, my brother.
He that hath the ear, let him hear what the Spirit saith unto the churches. He that overcometh shall not be hurt of the second death.
So he's letting you know, hey, if you got ears. See, we have to understand that this is the Lord. We know he got his prophets, right? John wrote this, but we got to understand this is coming from the Lord. And we know that because when you read through Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, he always spoke to the people. He said, he that have an ear, let him hear. And it's not like I wouldn't tell you if you had an ear if you really didn't have no ear, because obviously you wouldn't be able to hear. But he's letting you know that, hey, some people ain't going to be able to want to hear this or care to hear it. And that happens all the time. Soon as you start to get in this word of just a little bit, you start to tell people what thus said the Lord. Because see, once you first start to get in it, it's almost how I was. It was almost like, man, it was almost like it was with the Kings. There's some lost books, like you never heard it before. And man, people need to hear this. This is why we're in the condition we're in. This is why the world the way it is. We need to get this. We need to make sure everybody can hear this. They need to see this. It's just been like lost. But no. What you kind of find out real quick is people don't want it. They don't want to hear it. And it was shocking to me. I was like, I thought most people just want to be right, because everybody's claiming to love Jesus, right? Everybody we love Jesus, Jesus. So everybody love him. So they say. But then the scriptures tell you something. It's a bunch of lip service going on. Right. Because when it comes to actually doing what Jesus say, that's when the problem comes in. See? And it makes a lot of sense. But in your mind, when you start to understand and learn something about the Bible, you thinking like, people need to get it. Then you start to read some more. Because after you done talk to some of your familiars, and they done basically shown you and tell you, don't come in here with that book. Don't come around here with that book. When you start to see that, that's one track to know. That's some prophecy there. That'll tell you what path you're on. Because when you start to read the book and start to understand what happened, because you think in your mind, you have it in your mind that, oh man, people, want to hear about this, and people love Isaiah, and they love John the Baptist, and they love they love Jeremiah and all, and Daniel. We love all of it. But when you read the book, you find out that the masses hated them. Majority of the people didn't. So much for some of them got killed. And some of them they tried to kill. They chopped John the Baptist's head off.
Right.
For what? For speaking the truth. So once you start to get into it and start to learn something, you start to understand about the apostles and all that and so forth, you start to realize, hold up, people don't really want to hear this thing. They don't care to get this. And it's a rude awakening, but then again, if you read the book, you'll find out they killed Jesus. Right. Yeah, he died for our sins. Yeah, the Lord made good out of it. But at the same time, you got to keep in mind, dude, he was murdered.
Right.
Hung on a tree. See, people don't used to hearing it like that. You don't used to hear like murder, hung on a tree. Yeah. See, they want to try to make some idolatry out of these crosses and stuff, so they don't never tell you. That ain't nothing but two pieces of wood they put together. That's just a crucifixion. You had murderers and all types of people on those crosses.
Right.
That's just how they killed people. That was like the death penalty.
Right.
So they didn't like him. Why? Because his doctrine didn't line up with the status quo. And those were religious people who didn't like him. Right. So that's what we're dealing with. So that's why we done fell so far off. For understanding what thus said the Lord. This is why we're in the predicament we're in now. But then again, you start to understand, okay, people don't like that. People don't like Jesus. People don't like all that front. You start to see behind that. It's a mirage. You have to start to see what people, because, hey, it's about your works. So that way in Revelations 11, he tell them, he that have an ear, let him hear what the Spirit say unto the churches. He that overcomes shall not be hurt of the second death. So if you overcome, and all that stuff I was just talking about, those are some of the things you have to overcome. You have to get past all those things so that you can make it where you can overcome the second death. But let's go a little further. Let's go to 1 John. 1 John chapter 5. 1 John 5. Pick it up at verse 4. 1 John 5 and 4. Go ahead.
For whatsoever is born of God overcometh the world. And this is the victory that overcometh the world.
Read that again.
For whatsoever is born...
1 John 5.
1 John
chapter 5. At verse 4.
For whatsoever is born of God overcometh the world. And this is the victory that overcometh the world, even our faith.
Okay, so this he telling you, hey, this is the victory. So we read that they say for he to overcome, avoid the second death, right? So he said, this is the victory. But go ahead, verse 5.
Who is he that overcometh the world? But he that believeth that Jesus is the Son of God.
So he letting you know, this is how you supposed to overcome. Because we're trying to make sure we don't get caught up in that second death. He said, those who believe in the Son of God. But now we got to get some understanding. Who is the Son of God? Because right now, the Son of God that they portrayed out there in the world and talked about in the world, he don't even match to the one that we thought we knew. We got the Jesus that he loved you, he cared for you no matter what, and it's all this lovey-dovey stuff. When I got into this word, I'm here to tell you, I got into where it was like a rude awakening to me. Because I had never heard this, this type of language that was written in this book. You start to read this book and you start saying, God loved them who love him. I'm like, wait a minute, that ain't what I was told and I heard. I ain't hear that. God said, if you don't do what he say, he's going to kill you. I'm like, what? And it sounds weird. It sounds weird because you're not used to hearing that. But this God is a dangerous God to play with. He will kill you. I know a lot of people like to, well, you talk like that. Yes, because this God don't play. And if you don't do what you're supposed to, that's what happened. What do you think happened in the garden, right? What happened? They wasn't obedient to God, and God killed them. It's just plain and simple. Jesus said, killed them because they didn't listen. It sounds harsh, right? But it's a reality. That's exactly what happened. So we got to live in what it is so that we can't get tripped up in a fairy tale. That's why I say death is death. Because you got to live in what's really happened so you can save yourself. So he told him, he said, in verse 5, he said, who is he who overcome the world but he that believeth that Jesus is the Son of God? Let's go further. Let's go to Luke 12. Luke 12. And pick it up at verse 1. Luke 12 and 1. Go ahead.
In the meantime, when there were gathered together an innumerable multitude of people, insomuch that they trod one upon another, he began to say unto his disciples first of all.
Okay, so everybody was coming. He had flocks of people. They all wanted to hear the word of God. So they all came together, and they all wanted to hear. So they all here to hear the words of Jesus. Go ahead. So he got them all together, and he began to say unto the disciple of all what?
Beware ye of the leaven of the Pharisees, which is hypocrisy.
So he's letting them know, hey, these are a bunch of hypocrites. So beware of them. And that's exactly what's going on right now today. You got a bunch of hypocrites out here. So he's telling you to beware of that. I don't understand it, but when you read in the last day in Matthew 24, he give you signs of the end. Because a lot of people say we in the end, we close to the end, right? And the first thing he tell you is exactly what we just read there. To beware. Beware of these Pharisees or these religious leaders. When you tell you beware, that's just a sign of a warning. But nobody is being aware. Most people today, and be honest, most people today, if you're looking for a church home, all you need to do is see where it say Jesus. If Jesus is on there, then you say, okay, it's good to go there. But that's not being aware. That's not making sure that you are going to the right church, knowing it's the right Jesus, right? So he told them right here. He said, beware of the leaven of the Pharisees and Sadducees. He said, beware of the leaven of the Pharisees, which are hypocrites. Verse 2.
For there is nothing covered that shall not be revealed, neither hid that shall not be known. Therefore, whatsoever ye have spoken in darkness shall be heard in the light, and that which ye have spoken in the ear in closets shall be proclaimed upon the housetops.
So he letting you know that, hey, everything you do and say is going to be out there. That's part of judgment. So you got to be aware of that. But go ahead.
4. And I say unto you, my friends, be not afraid of them that kill the body, and after that have no more that they can do.
So he's telling you, see, did I tell you about this death and kill and murder? He said, don't be afraid of them that kill the body. And it's a reason like that. He said, for after that they have no more they can do. But what did he say?
But I will forewarn you whom you shall fear.
So he said, I'm going to warn you whom you should fear. And who is this you should fear? Go ahead.
Fear him, which after he have killed have power to cast into hell. Yea, I say unto you, fear him.
So he's telling you, hey, don't worry about man. Because see, it's going to come a time where you're going to have to stop playing church. There's a lot of people play church right now. They all holier than thou. They go to church. They be there tomorrow. They all dressed up. But it's going to come a time where you're going to have to draw the line.
Right.
And when you have to toe that line, that's going to show you if you really believe. That's going to show you if you are on the Lord's side. He's going to show you that. But let's go further. Let's go to Ecclesiastes 12. And when you're talking about that in verse 5, he said, but I will forewarn you whom you shall fear. Fear him which hath killed, he said, for fear him which after he have killed. So that means you fearing him after he killed and have power to cast in hell. So you talk about two deaths right here.
Right.
First kill and then have power to cast in hell. Yeah, I said you fear him. You got to fear him because he can kill you the first, which we all got the first death coming. But then he have another death where he can kill you again. And we're going to get into that. Let's go to Ecclesiastes 12. Because we always hear stuff about, when you get in the book, you start to hear about fear.
Right.
And some people tell you, God is not about fear, he's about love. Hey, God's about fear. And why is that? Because see, when you start to think of that, say, well, brother, it's supposed to just be about love, right? We're supposed to have some unity and love one another. Yeah, but how do you love? See, the thing is, people want to go off on how they think, what's in their mind, how they feel they supposed to love. No, we got to go off what the Lord said. And if you don't have proper love, that's what the fear is all about. Because it's going to keep you in order. That's what fear is all about. It's to make you do what's right when you want to do something wrong. The world operates like that. You won't run a red light. You know why? Because you fear you might get a ticket. You may be running late. It may be one of them long lights. I just said one long light. Like, man, this light ain't going to never go change. I need to get to where I need to get to. But you don't run that light because you're afraid. So that's what fear does. We've been operating under fear ever since we were, little children. That's what kept you in line. And the significant part about the fear is just to keep you in line until you are old enough to understand what happened in your mind, not just physically in age, that you are mentally prepared to understand God so that you don't hurt yourself. So that's what that is. It's just like a little child. Little toddler, 2-3-year-old, they don't know no better. They'll probably run out into the middle of the street. If you let their hand go, they don't understand. So you hold them so that don't happen. Why? Because they're not smart enough to understand what the repercussions behind that. And that's the same thing with the Lord. So he put that fear on you till you are understand and smart enough to know not to break the Sabbath day, not to break the dietary law. Because most people say, oh, man, I don't see no problem. I just missed one day. What's the big deal? See, that's what, till you are full grown spiritually and understand, hey, it's just that fear. See, if I put that fear on you that something going to happen to you, you ain't going to do it. And that's what that's all about. So don't let nobody tell you, just wherever you see fear, because you got some of these false prophets. And we read about them, right? He told you to beware of them. Because they'll tell you stuff like, wherever you see fear, put love there. That's some foolishness. Don't fall for that folly. Because we're in folly season right now anyway. So don't fall for that folly. Don't let them tell you stuff like that. Because fear means fear. Because it's going to get you in order to do what's right. So you can save yourself. That's the whole purpose of it. Ecclesiastes 12. Ecclesiastes 12. And pick it up at verse 13. So that's why you have Solomon when he wrote this. This is not something that people want to do away with because they feel like, that's the Old Testament. We're not under the fear commandment. We're under the commandment of love. They teach that stuff. Trust me, I ain't just making this up. This is what they say. That's why a lot of them don't even read the Old Testament, which is to their detriment because you can read about the last days of Matthew 24. He tell you about the abomination of desolation spoken by Daniel the prophet. Whosoever read them, let them understand. So what does that mean? That means you need to go back and read it so you can understand to save yourself. But if you say the Old Testament is done away with, we don't do that, we under the candle of love, trust me, you're going to have some real love coming to a theater near you. Ecclesiastes 12. And read that verse 13. Go ahead, brother.
Let us hear the conclusion of the whole matter. Fear God and keep his commandments. For this is the whole duty of man.
See, he just broke it down to you plain. He told you what the whole duty is. This is what it's all about. It's to fear God. But now we got some insight on the fear. Because you know that, hey, you need to get that fear. Because that fear keep you in line until you are mature enough in the mind to understand how deadly this God is. Then once you grasp that, then you know not to do X, Y, and Z, which is contrary to God. So the fear replaces that till you get some knowledge. Verse 14.
For God shall bring every work into judgment, every secret thing, whether it be good or whether it be evil.
See how he backed that up with that? With the fear? You see how that lined right up one with the other? It lined up like that to let you know. He said, hey, you better fear God. And right after that, boom, judgment. See, that came right behind each other to show you, hey, that judgment, hey, if you don't be worthy enough to counter that, lake of fire, where you're going to burn forever. We're going to read some of this stuff. We're going to get some example of what that second death is so you don't get caught in it. But He letting you know, hey, you got to line up. That's why that fear came, and then judgment came after that. And that judgment, like a lot of people say, ooh, I don't want to be walking with judgment day, because that's fear. And you ought to be scared. Because this, we just read where don't fear man, right?
Right.
Fear him, who after he done killed you the first death, which he did, right? Because all man got death coming, right? Then he said, fear him who after he done killed you, he can put you in the lake of fire. I tell you, fear him. So you got a little more weight than what man is. But that's the path we should be on. And have some understanding. And if you don't have no understanding, some of that rod to keep you in line until you get it. Let's move further. Let's go back to Revelation. Revelation 20. Revelation 20. Pick it up at verse 12. 20 and 12. Go ahead, my brother.
And I saw the dead, small and great.
And we just read about that, right? We read about the Ecclesiastes, the judgment, right? So we dealing with it right here in our time. Because a lot of time people want to act like when you're dealing with this book, it's like, you know, it's some good reading, or that's some stuff that's, you know, happened that time. That was back in the Bible days. You hear people say that. What do you mean the Bible days? We got future stuff that's in the Old Testament and in the New Testament that haven't even been done. What do you mean the Bible days? We in Bible days right now. Matter of fact, what we reading right now, it haven't even come to pass yet.
Right.
This is coming later, and we coming up on this soon. And a lot of people asleep right now. They're not aware that, hey, what's coming right now, they ain't ready. But then again, hey, that's written in the book. That the Lord, when he come back, everybody heard, oh yeah. They even make jokes. You got comedians, some of the Lord coming like a thief in the night. They crack jokes and all that. Boy, they don't understand. See, you wouldn't even be talking like that if you didn't have that fear. But when you don't have that fear, you don't have no knowledge. Because that's the whole duty, right? So if you don't have fear, then that tells you don't understand Christ. And if you don't understand Christ, this is what you got to look forward to. Go ahead, read that over again.
And I saw the dead, small and great, stand before God, and the books were open. And another book was open, which is the book of life. And the dead were judged out of those things which were written in the books according to their works.
So now you got the dead. They're going to be judged by what's written in these books. So that's your works. That's you going to be judged. And guess what books you think these is? It's not like some books that's just, he going to come out of nowhere. It's right here. It's what's written in here. Because we all know what's written in these pages of this book. Most people will tell you that what's written in here is good. You even got a name call it. They call it what? The good book, right? So you hear terms like that. But then when you start to try to show people this, they don't want no good book. Be like, what's the problem? They tell you stuff like man made that up. Or man did. Even if you think man made up, I thought it was the good book. It's good, right? So man made it up. So now you don't want to do it, but it's a good book. Trust me, people. We in trouble. But go ahead.
13. And the sea gave up the dead which were in it, and death and hell delivered up the dead which were in them.
So you seeing this is at the end. So a lot of people have some questions and say stuff like, what if I died and I was cremated or I was in the sea? He's letting you know right here. It's just hard for people to fathom that. And it's hard to fathom stuff like that because of all this woeful teaching. So you don't understand what's going on. The Lord, he said, Lord, if I was cremated and I was just done, just won't be nothing. Then I'm be done. No, the Lord could bring you back. You make it seem like it's so hard for God to bring you back from you being blown up. But see, you can just go back to Genesis. Go back to the beginning. Go back to Genesis. What did it say in Genesis? He made Adam from what? The dust of the ground, right? So if he made him from the dust of the ground, he put them together. It wasn't like he had something there laying down to work with. It was dust. So this is the God we're dealing with. Though let's not limit the omnipotent one. So he can bring you back. So in 13 saying the sea gave up the dead which were in it, and death and hell delivered up the dead which were in them. And what?
And they were judged every man according to their works. And death and hell were cast into the lake of fire. This is the second death.
See, now that's the second death. which we read at the beginning of Revelation. Hey, you want to avoid that at all costs. You don't want to have no parts of that. But he said, in death and hell, it would cast a lake of fire, because if your works don't add up, this is what happened. He said, this is the second death. And verse 15 said what?
And whosoever was not found written in the book of life.
But we read that, right? About the books written in there, right? Mm-hmm. So who wasn't found written in there, what's going to happen?
Was cast into the lake of fire.
So if your name wasn't found up, you wasn't found worthy, and you wasn't written in there, you were going to be thrown in the lake of fire. See, we reading this. This is not about just fire and brimstone. You know, we got a lot of that going on in California. But we're saying about that. This is about making you aware and also putting some fear on you, because we read that in Ecclesiastes 12. This is fear, because fear going to keep you in line. Been doing it all your life. I don't see why we would stop now. Let's move forward. Let's go. No, let's go up to 6. Read verse 6. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Verse 6. Blessed and holy is he that have part in the first resurrection. On such the second death have no power.
So if you see here, we talk about what we read earlier about the first and the second death. So he tell you, right, he said, blessed and holy is he that have part in the first resurrection, because on the second death have no power. So if you come up, and those are the saints. Those are the people who've been keeping the commandment of God. Those are those who going to come up and you bless. You're going to come up in that first resurrection when Christ come back. Those they're going to come up in there. See, people don't even understand. You got two deaths here, but we read that, right? So we starting to see, hey, you got to start to get some understanding of this thing. So when you read that title, Death is Death, but the second death, like, what? Death, the second death? Yeah, it sounds confusing. But then you start to understand why it's confusing, because people ain't understanding that, hey, you got a couple deaths here. And that second death, hey, you want to avoid that at all costs. So he said, blessed and holy is he that have part in the first resurrection. On the second death have no power. But they shall be priests of God and of Christ, and what?
And shall reign with him 1,000 years.
So they're going to be reigning with Christ 1,000 years. Those are the saints. And they priests of God. They've been keeping the word. They've been keeping his holy word, walking the walk. Not talking about it, walking it. Doing the commandments of God. That's what's been going on. But go ahead.
Verse 7. And when 1,000 years are expired, Satan should be loosed out of his prison.
See, Satan going to be bound up, because that 1,000 years is supposed to be nothing but a rest. That's why we keep the Sabbath day. That's a whole nother lesson, but this is the reason why you keep, so you can enter into that rest. That's what that first rest is all about. So you resting for 1,000 years, and you priest with God for 1,000 years. That's what the books say, right?
Right.
So you resting with, why? Because your works added up to that. So you avoid that. But the rest of the people, they still sleep. They don't come up on that. They come up on that second resurrection. But go ahead.
8. And shall go out and deceive the nations which are in 4 quarters of the earth.
So finally, after that 1,000 years is up, Satan got out and started to deceive people again. Because he was sealed up by Michael the Archangel. We can't read everything. But he was sealed up. He was sealed up, and it was peace on earth. We always heard the term peace on earth and goodwill towards men. But that 1,000 years, that's what it all is.
Right.
That's what it is. That's what peace is. See, we've been taught something totally crazy. We've been taught, oh, you die and you go to heaven. And the Lord got his prayer. I was talking to brother. I was showing a brother this. Guy was doing some work, but I was talking to him, showing him. I was supposed to get out of there. Matter of fact, I had to get my lesson done. I had a whole lot of stuff I needed to do. Got to do traveling and everything. But I just stood there and talked to him I was supposed to be there for about 15 minutes. I ain't there for an hour and a half. But he needed to hear, and he was willing to hear. So I'm talking to him. I'm giving him information. I'm showing him that. I'm showing him about what death is. He exhorted. What are you gonna do? Hey, I don't know. That's the parable of the soil. You can read that on your own. Whether he gonna take heed or not. But I'm planting a seed in his mind, and he was interested in hearing. And when somebody interested in hearing, people who know God know you interested in talking. Yeah. Before you know it, 10 minutes, it'd be 2 hours. You'd be like, oh, I got to get out of here. But, hey, they need to get that word. Because it's like a fire up in you. And if they want to receive it, he said that. And trust me, we wasn't even no heat. I'm an electrician by trade. We was out in the building with no heat, in the basement. Cold. Nobody moving. Nobody said they're ready to go, so I'm not going to say that. I'm keep going. Because, hey, people need to understand that your salvation is very important. And we take that lightly. We take it real lightly. And we don't understand simple stuff like death. That you're not going up there. And I told him one thing. I was like, show him the Lord's Prayer. That was something simple. Yeah, that kingdom come. We ain't going. The king, what? Yeah. It said, thy kingdom come. Yeah, we just don't even, he was like, we don't even just think, do we? No. We don't. We don't think. And it's a shame that our salvation is not important to the point where we can't even count to 3. When the Lord said you're going to be in the grave for 3 days and 3 nights, and you do Friday night to Easter Sunday morning, like what? And I just got off. I'm not going to get into all, but we just got into a whole bunch of stuff. I gave him so much, it probably was too much. He probably was about to fall over. But it just shows you how woeful lacking we are in understanding the word of God. And it's sad. But we're going to make sure we clear it up, Lord willing, and get to a point where people understand. What verse you at?
Middle of 8.
Start 8 again.
And shall go out to deceive the nation.
So that's Satan. He's going out. He's going out to deceive people. Which if you read in Revelation 12, you'll see that already deceived the whole world. You already been deceived. You grow up with status quo. When you run around with some people and they tell you something about thus said the Lord, show you some stuff like the Sabbath day, which is some simple stuff. You look, I'm at the electrical parts counter talking to, a couple of guys, and one of them's Catholic guy, and I don't even say too much to him, but now he always ready. He ready to even just talk. And we ain't even combating, but he's just ready to talk. He up there trying to figure, well, what day is what? And he have a little bit of understanding some stuff. He said he knew most of the stuff he was doing was pagan. I'm like, well, why are you still doing it? Why are you still there? And I ain't even bring up, I'm trying to get parts and electrical stuff. I'm trying to get the stuff I need for work. He up there talking about, he started right off with stuff, spiritual stuff. I ain't even bring that up because I'm past all that stuff. And he up there talking about, Jay, you ain't going to convert me, Jay. You ain't going to convert me. And I'm like, I ain't even here for that. I just came to get some outlets, bro, so I can go to work. But that just shows you that people are curious. Or maybe the last time I said something to him, he just was burning in his heart, and he just had to get something out, for the last time. Because I throw some little nuggets out there, to get his mind to thinking. So that's where we at. So Satan is going out. He's saying he should go out and deceive the nations. Verse 8, which are in the 4 corners of the earth, Gog and Magog, to gather them together to the battle. To who he said, to the number, go ahead, to the what?
To the number of whom is as the sand of the sea.
So they going to compass, because hey, it's been nothing but peace. Because Satan's been bound for 1,000 years. So it's been peace on earth and goodwill towards men. That's what happened for 1,000 years. But go ahead.
And they went up on the breadth of the earth and compassed the camp of the saints about and the beloved city. And fire came down from God out of heaven and devoured them.
So, so the Father sent fire down.
Right.
And he devoured them. And what else?
And the devil that deceived them was cast into the lake of fire and brimstone.
We're going to notice something right here. He said the one who deceived them was cast in the fire, and he cast in the lake of fire. So after 1,000 years, the devil was cast in the lake of fire. Right. We didn't read this, but we're going to see something here. Go ahead.
Where the beast and the false prophet are.
See, those are the two who, when the Lord came, he had them thrown in there. Right there, right when he came. He took both of them and threw. You can read that on your own. We ain't got time to read everything. Plus, I talk too much anyway. So we ain't going to be able to read everything. But that just goes to show you. He's telling you, hey, they there. And notice one thing, because a lot of things read that again, that part.
And the devil that deceived them was cast into the lake of fire and brimstone, where the beast and the false prophet are.
So he's telling you, they there. And obviously, this was 1,000 years, right? So they there for 1,000 years. So much for some of these false prophets where the Lord tell you to beware of, right? So much for them where they tell you, you just going to be burned up. They got a saying, you're going to be burned up all right. You're going to be burning for 1,000 years plus. Because it's going to say something here. Finish that.
And shall be tormented day and night forever and ever.
How long is forever and ever?
Forever, ever.
You know, Outkast never got a little song, forever, forever, ever, forever, ever, ever. Yeah, that's what it is. You ain't getting out of that. And I'm here to scare you on that because you want to avoid that at all costs. You'd rather be in jail and they sentence you for 100 years than to get caught up in that. Be like, you got a 100-year sentence. And we say, oh, that's terrible. 100 years, he ain't never going to get out. But he's still alive.
Right.
But you get in this fire here, you're going to be alive, but you're going to be burning forever. And you ain't never going to at least with 100 years, you can start counting down for parole. Maybe you might not live that long, but at least you still got a date to check off. Ain't no date checking off here. This is what you got coming forever. So you got to make sure you don't play light with this. You don't want that second death. That's why I say death is death. But that second death is death. All right. You finished that, right?
Yes, sir.
Let's move further, brother. Let's go to Mark 9. Mark 9. So the Lord's going to show you something right here. He's letting you know. He's going to show you how serious that death is and make sure you try to avoid it at all costs. So he's giving you examples here. He's giving you some knowledge here so you have something to hold on to make sure if you just feel like you know you don't want to, this will get you in line. Mark 9 and 43. 9 and 43. Go ahead.
And if thy hand offend thee, cut it off. It is better for thee to enter into life maimed than having two hands to go into hell, into the fire that never shall be quenched.
So he's showing you right here how serious it is. Now, do he really mean you walk around and if you a thief, although they do that over in the Middle East, it might help you though. If you can stop from stealing and stealing and stuff, they chop your hands off. That'll help you though, because you be maimed. But that's not what he's saying. He's just letting you know how serious it is. You don't want to get caught in this situation. You want to make sure by all means necessary you avoid this. So this is what he's showing you here. You want to make sure you avoid this situation. He's saying, and if thy hand offend thee, cut it off. It is better for thee to what?
Enter into life maimed.
So he says, if you got to go in there maimed. When you think of man, you always think of people lipping like, ooh, he's maimed, you know that man. But hey, it's better to go in like that than to go into that lake of fire, right? Because he said, if thy hand offend thee, cut it off. It is better for thee to enter into life maimed than to have two hands and go into hellfire that should never be quenched. You're going to be burning forever. You don't want no ever. Trust me. Go ahead.
Where their worm dieth not, and the fire is not quenched.
So it's never, you constantly burning. You don't want it. Trust me. He's telling you something. He also said something here. 45.
And if thy foot offend thee, cut it off. It is better for thee to enter a halt into life than having 2 feet be cast into hell, into the fire that never shall be quenched.
He said, if I'm telling you, hey, you need to, if this gonna hold you up, cut your feet off. That's how serious he's showing you it is, that you don't want no parts of that second death. You don't want it. It's better to not even have no feet and hands. You just roll around. It's better roll around than to get in that fire. Because you don't want to roll in that fire.
Right.
You don't want none of that. So he's just showing you it's serious. Take this serious. Go ahead.
46. Where their worm dieth not, and the fire is not quenched.
Go ahead, brother.
47. And if thine eye offend thee, pluck it out. It is better for thee to enter into the kingdom of God with one eye than having 2 eyes to be cast into hell fire.
He talking about chopping you. It's better for you to not have no hands and feet. And also, plug your eyes out. If you keep looking at stuff and lusting out of it and you can't control yourself, just plug them out. But once again, he don't mean literally walk around cutting your hands off and cutting your feet off. He's just showing you the severity of it. So you got to keep in mind. 48.
Where their worm dieth not, and the fire is not quenched.
So he's letting you know, hey, the worm, you're not going to die. Just showing you death. He's giving you a picture of death. Showing you how you do, when somebody die, they decompose and They have worms in them. He's just letting you know, hey, this is a spiritual death that, hey,
Right.
it's going to continue. You got corruption, but you still alive. You burning. This is what's going on. Let's go a little further. Let's go to Luke. Luke 13. Luke 13. Pick it up at verse 24. Luke 13:24. Go ahead.
Strive to enter in at the straight gate, for many, I say unto you, will seek to enter in and shall not be able.
So he's telling you, hey, you need to strive. But we know that, hey, you got to do it to the end. So you got to, he said, strive to enter in. Because many going to try to get in and not going to be able to. Go ahead.
28. There shall be weeping and gnashing of teeth when ye shall see Abraham and Isaac and Jacob and all the prophets in the kingdom of God, and you yourselves thrust out.
So he said, hey, it should be weeping and gnashing of teeth. So it's going to be a lot of stuff going on in that lake of fire. You know, when you talk about gnashing of teeth, people who understand, who've been hurt before, he's giving you an analogy of it, that you in so much pain. You be in so much pain. You have been in so much pain where you got to grit your teeth. It's like, ooh, you holding it. That's what he's showing you. How serious it is. That you're going to be, it hurts so much that it's like gnashing of teeth. He's letting you know, this is, you don't even want to avoid that. But go ahead.
29. And they shall come from the east and from the west and from the north and from the south and shall sit down in the kingdom of God.
Yeah, and you yourself going to be thrust out. And they going to be sitting down there. And you see, he said Abraham and all. Hey, that's what the Lord said. Hey, he's not the God. He said he's been known. He known when Israel want to know about God. They would say he's the God of Abraham, Isaac, Jacob. He said they're the God of the living. They going to be in the kingdom. And if you don't do what you're supposed to, you're going to be thrust out. So you got to keep that in mind. Let's go to Luke 16. Two chapters over. Luke 16. Pick it up at verse 19. 16 and 19. And this is going to show you, it's giving you an example of the lake of fire right here. He's going to show you that. And notice we read that Abraham and Isaac and Jacob are going to be in the kingdom. So he going to give you an example of the lake of fire right here. Go ahead, read, brother.
There was a certain rich man, which was clothed in purple and fine linen, and fared sumptuously every day. And there was a certain beggar named Lazarus, which was laid at his gate, full of sores.
Go ahead.
And designed to be fed with crumbs which fell from the rich man's table. Moreover, the dogs came and licked his sores. And it came to pass that the beggar died and was carried by the angels into Abraham's bosom.
So you see what happened at the end? He's in Abraham's bosom. But we just read about Abraham being in the kingdom, right? So obviously, the beggar was in the kingdom, right?
Right.
Lazarus in the kingdom, but go ahead.
The rich man also died.
So he died too. So you got Lazarus, he's in the kingdom, he's in the bosom of Abraham, and then the rich man died too. But see where the rich man is at. Go ahead.
And was buried.
So he was buried too. So they both died, they both was buried. Go ahead, 23.
And in hell he lifted up his eyes.
So he in hell. See, people have to understand, they get way off talking about some hell. Hey, hell is a state of condition.
Right.
If you going through hard times in the world, you can be going through some hell. If you in the grave, that was also, if you read through the scriptures, that's hell. That's a bad condition. But we read that in the beginning that, hey, death was a penalty for sinning. So that's bad. But also we got hell here. And this is the lake of fire, which it was coming real soon. So he said in verse 23, go ahead.
And in hell he lifted up his eyes, being in torment.
So he's tormented, he's in hell. But we heard, right? We read about gnashing of teeth, right? We heard about that, right? But go ahead.
And seeth Abraham afar off, and Lazarus in his bosom.
See, the Lord giving you a little piece about the lake of fire that you want to try to avoid at all costs, that second death. He's showing you something here. He's letting you know. Go ahead.
And he cried and said, Father Abraham, have mercy on me, and send Lazarus that he may dip the tip of his finger in water and cool my tongue, for I'm tormented in this flame.
So he said, I just need a dip. This is so serious. I just need a drop. Just give me a drop, man, because I'm burning in it. I'm burning. Give me a drop, please. But go ahead.
But Abraham said, Son, remember that thou in thy lifetime receivest thy good things, and likewise Lazarus evil things.
But see, we read in the beginning, you're going to be judged according to your works, right? So obviously his works didn't add up. He didn't add up. He missed the cut. And when you miss the cut, you get in the lake of fire. So his works didn't tally up right. So Abraham was telling him some stuff right here. He said, but Abraham said, 25, Abraham said, Son, remember that thou in thy lifetime receivest thou good things. And likewise, Lazarus what?
Evil things.
So he got evil things. You had good. You had it sweet. That's why a lot of times you might be a little envious of people who have money right now. It's all sweet for them. Everything going good for them. They're having a good time. They can do whatever they want. They never struggling. Ain't got to worry about paying this bill, that bill. They good. Hey, the Lord said it'd be hard for a rich man to get into the kingdom of God because they lean up on their riches. So he said, you got good stuff. But he got evil things. Now what?
But now he is comforted.
So he's comforted now. And what else?
And thou art tormented.
Now you tormented because you didn't make the cut. So you had it good. See, y'all don't know, I was listening to quick Q&A on the way here. When Brother Lee said, hey, you might as well just if you're going to mess around, just go on party. Pop the bottles. Don't play church. Yeah, go ahead and do that. Because, hey, this is what's going to happen. Have fun. See, it's what he did. His brother did that, didn't he? You see him? He lived lavishly, right? He good things. Why? Lazarus had evil, right? So he did that. He did what Brother Lee said. He had a good time, spent his money, did what he going to do. If you're going to do that, like he said, go to the club, do it up. Do it big, as they say. Don't play around, because you're going to get the same reward in the end. But he was tormented. Go ahead.
26. And besides all this, between us and you, there's a great gulf fixed, so that they which would pass from hence to you cannot. Neither can they pass to us that will come from thence.
So notice the kingdom is right there. And notice they're in the kingdom too. So Lake of Fire is right there too. Because they talking to them. But it's a big gap in between them, but they're able to communicate. So let's see what some of this communication was about. Go ahead.
Then he said, I pray thee therefore, Father, that thou wouldest send him to my father's house. For I have 5 brethren, that he may testify to them, lest they also come into this place of torment.
So he's like, man, by all means, what I said earlier about, hey, you want to avoid that, right? So he's letting them know, hey, go talk to my brothers. They don't want no parts of this. Go testify, go talk to them. But see what happened. Go ahead.
And Abraham saith unto him, they have Moses and the prophets. Let them hear them.
He said, hey, man, they got Moses and the prophets. See, so much for, you hear people talk about you doing this? That's the Mosaic law. That's the Mosaic. Dude, you better go get that.
Right.
We're talking about Lake of Fire. He told you, let them hear Moses and the prophet.
Right.
He didn't say let them, don't read that. That's old, done away with. We got Jesus. He didn't say that, right? We're talking about the second death. Brothers and sisters, we talk about future stuff right now. We're not talking about past stuff. He's talking about the Lake of Fire to go read the Old Testament to save yourself. He said, now let him read the book. Because books was open, right?
Right.
And it was judged in Revelation 20 out those books, right? What was written. So he's giving you an example, showing you, hey, this is what you need to do. He said, what? Go get them books from Moses, right? And the prophet. Let them hear them. Now, we all know we got to have some sense. Moses ain't still living right now, so you ain't talking to him face to face, right? And you doggone sure ain't talking about some Mosaic law. You going back there and you reading the writings that he got. Right. Because that's what's going to keep you out of the lake of fire.
Right.
We have to understand that. This stuff is simplicity. We don't need to make it more difficult than it is. Go read the book. Go ahead, brother. 30.
And he said, Nay, Father Abraham, but if one went unto them from the dead, they will repent. So and that's always a likely story. They always say that. Boy, Satan is so crafty. He do a whole lot of stuff to get people sidetracked.
to get you thinking like, man, if they could just see this, because they don't really believe, but if they can get a miracle or something on the side, that's going to make people believe. Man, go on, read, brother.
And he said unto him, if they hear not Moses and the prophets, neither will they be persuaded through one rose from the dead.
He said, man, if they ain't going to hear that, because he already have enough knowledge to know. If they not going to hear it, they ain't going to be persuaded by nobody who rose from the dead. It don't even work that way. But we're going to show you that. Let's move forward. Let's give you some examples of that. Because that's what people just using excuses. That's all they want. Go to John 12. This is what happened when people find out about somebody being raised up from the dead. This is what, see if they believe or not.
Right.
John 12. And read verse 1. Go ahead.
Then Jesus 6 days before the Passover came to Bethany, where Lazarus was, which had been dead.
So we reading right here. Jesus rose. We're not going to read it all. We ain't got time for all that. But we're going to touch on it a little bit. We just talked about somebody being rose from the dead, right? Well, Jesus rose Lazarus from the dead. Let's see if they believe who was rose from the dead. Because he said he will believe, right?
Right.
Let's go and read it. Skip down to verse 9. Go ahead, brother.
Much people, the Jews, therefore knew that he was there. And they came not for Jesus' sake only, but that they may see Lazarus also, whom he had risen from the dead.
So they say, hey,
whom he had raised from the dead.
So he said, hey, we need to see Lazarus. Because they were trying to believe, right? They say, people believe. We're going to see Lazarus, see if he raised from the dead, see if they believe in that. Go ahead, brother.
But the chief priests consulted that they might put Lazarus also to death.
Now you got him right here telling you, hey, you be persuaded by one for the raised from the dead, right? We talk about that, right? Then you hear it and you see right here, he rose him from the dead and the people's going, they so mad, these religious leaders. Then he rose from the dead, they want to kill Jesus and Lazarus. So that's why I tell you, go read the book. Because you ain't going to be persuaded that way. And the scriptures just tell you that. So we don't even need to have to take no guessing at it. Let's go further. Let's go to Luke 7. Yeah, you can see it as it is. It don't matter. People gonna do what they do. Go read Moses, like he said. That's what's gonna work.
Right.
See, we like to use excuses and do other things instead of doing what's written in this book. A lot of people go through this book. Oh man, you read Leviticus 11 and all that, trying to figure out how to clothe and foot and eat and that's just too difficult. No, it ain't no difficult than all the other stuff you're doing. It ain't no difficult than grabbing a tree and going and find it and decorating and do. It definitely ain't that difficult. So people do what they want to do.
Right.
That's what it boils down to. And your work's going to testify to you. Because the Lord ain't playing that. He's a terrible God. You can read that throughout the scriptures. He's not playing with you. He don't want to kill you, but he will if you don't do what you're supposed to do. You want to avoid it by all means necessary. This is not a game. This is your life on the line. Luke 7, pick it up at verse 33. 7:33. Go ahead, brother.
For John the Baptist came neither eating bread nor drinking wine, and ye say he hath the devil.
See, he's letting you know right here. You got John the Baptist, right? Because they had a problem with Jesus because he was hanging around, which we're going to read. They say he was hanging around public sin. That's why we really didn't want to listen to him. He was around a bunch of people, man, he was around some of the scum of the earth. So,
right.
Yeah, you don't want to listen to him. See, had he been around some decent folks, we would have listened. But he just said right here, read 33 again, brother.
For John the Baptist came neither eating bread nor drinking wine, and ye say he hath the devil.
See, he didn't do any of those things. And Jesus said he's the greatest prophet among that's born of women.
Right.
But he came, he didn't eat, he wasn't drinking, wasn't doing none of that, and he was a crazy man, and he had a devil. Go ahead, 34.
The Son of Man is come eating and drinking, and ye say, behold, a gluttonous man, and a wine-bibber, a friend of publicans and sinners.
See, that's why I'm trying to tell you, it don't matter how you come. So that's why he said, if they don't hear Moses writing, neither they gonna hear. That's why he said that. Because it's always a reason. But the real defined reason is you don't want to do what God say. That's really what it is. A lot of people play a lot of games. That's why I commend some people. When I talk to my sister, I would try to, this is what you need to do. This is the word. And she just honestly came out and said, you know what, brother? The stuff that you doing seems right. I just ain't ready for it. I can understand that. I wouldn't like it because you still gonna get that reward. But at least you made up in your mind to say, the stuff you doing is right and I ain't ready. At least you made a choice. Then playing around with it. Because playing around with it is gonna get you cut off. But go ahead. Is that it?
35.
Go ahead.
But wisdom is justified of all her children.
Yeah, so you got to make sure you get some understanding. Because that's what it's all about. And without that understanding, you're going to be woefully in trouble. We're going to see that. Go ahead and go to Proverbs 4, and we're going to read one verse. Verse 7. So you can go back and read back and forth in this book, and it's going to all line up and say the same thing. And you see why he said, hey, wisdom is justified of children. We're going to see why he said that. Proverbs 4. And read that one verse. Verse 7. 4 and 7. Go ahead.
Wisdom is the principal thing.
So he's telling you. This is Solomon. He said, wisdom is the principal thing. Go ahead.
Therefore get wisdom. With all thy getting, get understanding.
Ain't that what the Lord said? So you got to make sure you get some wisdom and some understanding. So that you can save yourself from this corrupt and crazy world we have out here. And trust me, people, time is running out. It's running out. And it's going to be so scarce out here that, hey, you might not be able to get another chance to get this word. So you better make sure you get on board. It's time to stop playing church. It's time to walk the way. I tell people all the time, people, even some of the brothers we commune with, I say, hey, we out here working. We working for God. This is what we doing. So you don't want to be slack with this. You want to do, this is what thus said the Lord. Right. You want to do what you're supposed to do. Hey, we didn't came across a storm, blizzard. We here, praise God. But this is the work. And we here, we ain't asking for money. We just here to give you something. And it's important. Because, hey, I want my works to add up. Right. I don't want to be like the rich man. And trust me, some of us more than others got a lot of negatives, when we was out in the world. So we need to try to balance this thing out. So if I got to come through a blizzard, praise God. Because trust me, people want to be like, I talk to some brothers, they be like, you was at church? Yeah, I was at church Friday night. Sometimes we don't get out of there till 12 o'clock. And we have to leave to come to Toronto 3 o'clock in the morning. He's like, you going to be here? Yeah, praise God. Yes, I am. But then again, I tell brothers all the time, when you was out them clubs, you was out there 3 o'clock in the morning. You was on some folly. So if I could grind like that in them clubs all night long till the sun rays up, I can grind for the Lord. Let's go, brother. Where we at?
Psalms 89.
Psalms 89. Psalms 89, and we're going to read one verse. Verse 48. Psalms 89 and 48. Go ahead.
What man is he that liveth and shall not see death?
There ain't no man, right? There ain't none, right? Go ahead.
Shall he deliver his soul from the hand of the grave? Selah.
No, he can't. But then we know that was punishment from the beginning, right?
Right.
That's what it is. So we have to understand the Lord is showing you, giving you an example right here. That's what death is about. Death is, when I say in that lesson, death is death, it's letting you know, hey, this is the death you got coming. But that second death you want to try to avoid. So you can't get out of this death, but you can get out of the next one. So you have to understand that this is real. He's giving you that. That's for the Lord. Lord don't do anything without giving you an example, showing you this. You don't want none of this. Trust me, you don't want none of this. He's letting you know that. So he showed you, hey, I'm going to kill you. So I didn't kill you. So you already died. So I'm giving you an example. You die, you die, you die. You don't want none of this. He's giving you that. He's showing you. It's like somebody like in the scripture, one of the brothers was running up on us, but he said, man, go ahead on, man, I don't want to hurt you. You do that when you're in school, somebody talking crazy, you already know, dude, I'm gonna knock your head off. But I don't want to do that, so you walk away. So Lord's showing you, I don't want to hurt you. But if you continue to go on, you're going to get some of this fire. I got some fire for you. Trust me. So you don't want that. So he said right here in 48, he said, what is man that he liveth, they shall not see death? Shall he deliver his soul from hell? No, Selah. Let's go to Matthew 6. Matthew 6. Matthew 6. And this is the mindset that the Lord is trying to get you on. Because, hey, you can't stop yourself from dying. And here's some other stuff he's showing you don't have no control over. So keep in mind. Because a lot of people have thoughts in their mind like, well, I like to do it this way. I like to do it. He's going to show you something right here. 27. Go ahead.
Which of you, by taking thought, can add 1 cubit unto his stature?
See, you can't control that. You can't even make yourself taller. I know some people who short will like to be taller. Some people, they were like, I can use a little bit more of this, Hey, but you can't add on. So people want to have a lot of muscles and stuff. They would add on if they could. But Lord told you ain't got no control over that. But go ahead.
And why take ye thought for raiment? Consider the lilies of the field, how they grow. They toil not, neither do they spin. And yet I say unto you, that even Solomon in all his glory was not arrayed like one of these.
Go ahead.
Wherefore, if God so clothed the grass of the field, which today is, and tomorrow is, cast into the oven, shall he not much more clothe you? Oh, ye of little faith.
So he's letting you know, hey, the Lord is in control. He's running it all. And you don't have control. See, that's the thing. Man wants to try to act like he control. He want to do how he want to do. You ain't controlling nothing. You can't stop yourself from dying. We read that, right? Then you can't even make yourself taller. So what you need to do is fall in line. Because we all servants. That's what we are. So you need to make sure you keep yourself in line. Because if not, he got that fire. That fire is for people who don't want to listen. People who are not obedient to God's commandment. That's what that fire is there for. It was made for the angels.
Right.
That's what it was, the purpose of it. But then man decided he want to take hold on it. The Lord said, hey, there's room for you in the end over there. There's plenty of room there. You can get on in if you choose to go that route. But go ahead. What verse you at?
31.
Go ahead.
Therefore, take no thought, saying, what shall we eat? Or what shall we drink?
Because that's very important, right? People think, eating and drinking, that's something we do, right? It's important. But he's letting you know, hey, don't be so caught up on that stuff. Because people get so caught up on that, that's more important than anything. No, it isn't worse than that. At least you got to eat to live, right? Now people be like, I need to watch the football game on the Sabbath. They coming on, they the college boy every Saturday. They didn't got down to that point. At least eating and drinking was some of a point, but the Lord tell you, don't even worry about that stuff. Now we didn't went way, we didn't fall so far off. That's just the mindset is messed up. I remember one of the playoff games came on, my brother came to me, was like, you're not going to, and I love me some football. And he was like, you're not going to watch the game? They're in the playoffs. And they hardly ever in the playoffs. See, they're in the playoffs. It's the playoffs. You're not going to watch the game? And I'm looking at him like, you have to catch yourself and throw stuff out there, little nuggets so people can think. Because they so caught up and the devil got their mind so twisted, you have to think about it and say, brother, is football more important than God? Then some snap out of your head, they snap out of it like, yeah, wait a minute, what am I saying? But that just goes to show you how far down the totem pole man is when it comes about God. Their mindset is gone. Y'all listen to one brother, he always say something here on the line. He was like, you done lost your mind. You're right about that. But go ahead, what verse you at?
End of 31.
Go ahead, finish that.
Or wherewithal should we be clothed?
He said, hey, so where you should be clothed? Go ahead.
32. For after all these things do the Gentiles seek. For your heavenly Father knoweth that ye have need of all these things.
So he letting you know, don't be caught up in all that stuff. Because hey, that's what the minds, or he said of the Gentiles, but hey, that's pretty much everybody. Everybody trying to get money. They put that out there. It's about money, 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 money. But the whole purpose of that money is to get you sidetracked. If you read Luke 4, if you read Matthew 4, you'll find out that's the devil.
Right.
He always trying to get you, give you some money and some temporal stuff to just pacify you. But that's what the rich man had, right? Mm-hmm. He had the temporal stuff in his time. So that's what's going to get you caught up. So you start using money as your God. See, people don't look at it like that. I ain't worshiping that. I ain't worshiping like that. You know, people say it all the time. Even with this folly, they come up. That's why people got to understand with their mind. You got to make sure you get your mind in check and understand the spirit. That's why you got to fear until you can get enough knowledge to understand what it is you to do and not to do. So then once you start to find out what you should do and not to do, you wouldn't anticipating stuff like Christmas and stuff like that. People say, well, I don't really worship that. I was telling a young man when I was talking to him on the job when he was outside freezing. I was talking to him about that. Putting the tree up. People like, I ain't worship. People say, we ain't really worship a tree. Hey, Jeremiah 10 say you decking it.
Right.
I don't really I just don't do that. So you got to bow down to it. I ain't really bowing down. It's just give something. I ain't bowing down to it. Which I told him, say, why would you even put a tree up for your birthday, somebody's birthday anyway? He like, yeah, ain't none of that's making sense. But I don't really worship, I ain't really worshiping. Then I had to hit him with that song. Oh, Christmas tree, oh, Christmas tree. Oh, he was talking crazy up to that point. At that point, he was stuck like, yeah, because that's what it is. You're going to try to change it, but it's always been what it is. It's paganism. It's idolatry, which they don't speak anything about. It's amazing, ain't that? God got idolatry all over the world. But man don't speak about it at all. They don't say nothing about it. Like it just don't exist. Keep in mind, people, when you read through the book, understand this stuff never goes anywhere. It's always been the same way it is. You would think in your mind, they thought the same way. Oh, we're not really worshiping it. We just do. You don't think they thought that? That's what they was thinking when they putting up those groves and all that stuff. They was thinking, we're not really worshiping it. It's just what we do. It's tradition. They've been thinking like that. Right. But it's still paganism. They the same mindset you had. Same way you think now, they thought that same way. Nothing's changed. It's all idolatry. And we got to understand that it's wrong and it's going to get you put in the lake of fire. You don't want that death. Did you finish that?
33.
Go ahead, brother.
But seek ye first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and all these things should be added unto you.
But then we read that, right? Don't worry about what you should wear, right? Your raiment, all that. Your mind should be focused on God, because you can get caught up there. We know we need to eat. We know we need money. We need to operate. We know we need stuff. But that shouldn't be your all be all. That should not be what you striving for. People get up in the morning, I'm trying to get this money. I'm trying to get that paper. Dude, that shouldn't be your end all be all. Because your end all be all is going to be where the rich man's at. And you don't want no part of that. We understand how serious that is. So you want to avoid that. He said, but first ye, 33, seek ye first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and all these things should be added unto you. So that's what's important. You want to seek that, then all that will be added unto you. 34.
Take therefore no thought for the morrow, for the morrow shall take thought for the things of itself.
So he said, hey, don't even be thinking about the next day. Don't even, because people start to struggle. Now, I'm not telling you not to plan nothing. He's not saying that. He's just saying don't have that be your only focus. Because you might not make it to tomorrow. That's the whole mindset you got to keep in mind. You may be required to die. We can't read everything, but to read that to you. That, hey, you might not even make it to tomorrow. So don't let that be your all be all. Go ahead and finish that.
Sufficient unto the day is the evil thereof.
So he's letting you know, hey, just deal with what you got right now. And why he's telling you to do that? Because that's what's the mind of the man. They want more. Got to get this. Got to get that. You see somebody with something else, got to hide that. You get that? Something new, shiny. You see somebody else come up with something new and shiny, that, got to hide that. It ain't no end to that. So that's why he tell you, hey, you just be sufficient. Whatever the Lord gave you right now, you good. Good. Be content with that. Because that's what you need. Because anything else more than that, you're going to be in trouble. Because, hey, if we all know, and we just keeping it real, If you had a whole bunch of money, you probably wouldn't be here right now. You wouldn't be here. You'd be in so much folly. Praise the Lord that He kept you broke.
Right.
You be wondering why you broke and struggling? Because you're going to kill yourself. That's why. You don't need no extra money. Because, hey, the Lord know what you need. We already read what the Lord said. He gonna give you and provide. You know what you need, right? So you ain't got no money, you don't need it.
Right.
Because you're going to hurt yourself. So He keep you right where you at. So if you where you are right now, it's sufficient. Let's go further, brother. You finished that, right?
Yes, sir.
Let's go to Job, brother. Job 14. Job 14. And Job is the man of God. Trust me.
Right.
And he's going to show you something about death. Go ahead. 12.
So man lieth down and riseth not, till the heavens be no more. They shall not awake, nor be raised out of their sleep.
So he's letting you know, hey, you lie down, you're going to be dead. You're not floating up nowhere. You're not looking down on nobody, smiling, nothing. He's telling you right now, so man lie down and raise not, till the heavens be no more. So he's telling you that. And what does that mean, till the heavens be no more? Because, hey, when the Lord come back, He's going to roll back the heavens.
Right.
So He's giving you an example of that. He's surely telling you that. See, you see, Job had a whole bunch of understanding. He knew all the way back to the end. He said He's going to rise when the heavens no more. Why? Because when the Lord come back, He's going to smack the heavens. He's going to shake it up. He's going to roll the sky back like a straw. So that's what He said, till the heavens be no more. So that's what He mean by that. But go ahead, brother.
13. Oh, that thou wouldest hide me in the grave, that thou wouldest keep me secret until thy wrath be past, that thou wouldest appoint me a set time.
See, he know about the wrath of God. See, when I tell you the Lord ain't playing, this is wrath. We already know what wrath is. Wrath is when you don't listen. Like when I was talking to the brother when we was out there freezing again. For that hour and a half talking. It could have been 2 hours, man. We was out there for so long. But anyway, we out there talking. I was telling him, you know, just like he said right here. He said, verse 13, so, oh, that thou wouldest hide me in the grave, that thou would keep me secret till thy wrath be past. This is wrath that the Lord got coming. Right. He's talking about bringing some wrath. I asked him a question. I said, you heard the Lord coming in flame of fire? He said, yeah, the Lord coming in flame of fire. I heard that before. I said, why is He coming in flame of fire? Because we're doing right or we've been doing wrong. He didn't think, because you don't take the time to think.
Right.
He was like, yeah, we ain't doing it right. Of course. That's why He's going to burn you up. Because you ain't doing right. So He said, until thy wrath come, and what else?
Thou wrath keep me secret until thy wrath be past. Thou wouldest appoint me a set time and remember me.
He said, hey, You're going to have a set time, remember. But that's that resurrection for the saints. That's what we're talking about here. That's what He's talking about, the time. Go ahead.
If a man die, shall he live again?
So He give you the question. If somebody died, shall he live again? Go ahead.
All the days of my appointed time will I wait till my change comes.
See, he understood that. He understood that, hey, it's going to be a change. He's going to wait. And he's waiting in the grave, right? Mm-hmm. He understood that. Go ahead.
Thou shalt call, and I will answer thee.
Yeah, but hey, that's what happened. We didn't read it in Luke about Lazarus, but if you go through, you can go back and read it yourself. We ain't got time for that. You will see that, hey, he told Martha, he said, hey, I am the resurrection. And when I call, you're going to come. He was letting them know that. So this is what he's talking about. When he called, he said, thou shalt call, and I will answer thee. Thou what?
Thou will have a desire to work of thine hand.
That's right, because the Lord, hey, He controls it all, right? We always say, people say, hey, the Lord's the maker, right? But do they really believe that? He said He's the maker, right? We got to believe it. Go ahead.
16. For now thou numberest my steps. Dost thou not watch over my sin? My transgression is sealed up in a bag, and thou sewest up mine iniquity. And surely the mountains fallen cometh to naught, and the rock is removed out of his place.
Boy, if you start to read some scripture, you'll understand what this is. You understand the exact time he's talking about right here. He's throwing some nuggets out there. They gold too. You like the Lord say, finest is Ophrahs. You know, gold. I don't even know what that is, but I know it's some bad gold, baby. He said, and surely the mountains fall and come unto naught, and the rock is removed out of his place. See, the Lord going to be shaking the whole earth up. And this is what's going on during that time. Go ahead.
19. The waters were the stones. Thou washest away the things which grow out of the dust.
That was it. That was it. That should have been it. But hey, it all goes together. It's just letting you know, hey, this is what's going on with the Lord. Giving you an example to show you what you want to try to avoid and what you want to be a part of. Let's go further. Let's go to 1 Corinthians 15. First Corinthians 15. And read 22, 15 and 22. Go ahead.
For as in Adam all die, even so in Christ shall all be made alive.
Which that's how it all began in the beginning. But then that's what Christ came. To get us out of the penalty of death. If we are obedient to him. Now let's go further. Let's go to 2 Corinthians 4. Because we all don't seem to want to be obedient. That's what man, and I mean women too, they don't want to listen and be obedient to God and do what he say. And trust me, if you don't do that, that's going to be to your own detriment. This is your own life. You on trial right now. Everything you're doing right now is on trial. The angels are writing down everything you do, and he's balancing it out. And you want to make sure that your balance that you got don't fall on that side where he said, depart from it. You don't want that side. You don't want to have that side, because we've already seen an example of that with the rich man, right? You don't want no part of that. It ain't going to help you. It's to your detriment. 2 Corinthians 4, pick up at verse 11. 4 and 11. Go ahead, Hebrew.
For we which live are always delivered unto death for Jesus' sake, that the life also of Jesus might be made manifest in our mortal flesh. So then death worketh in us, but life in you.
Right, so he's letting you know, hey, in your flesh, hey, it's working in you, but life in you, because now you start to get the knowledge and know what it is that you're supposed to be doing and get on track to do that. Trust me, we all in the negative. You need to keep running. Go ahead.
We have the same spirit of faith, according as it is written, I believe, and therefore have I spoken. We also believe, and therefore speak.
Go ahead.
Knowing that he which raised up the Lord Jesus shall raise up us also by Jesus.
Yep, because when we read, we talked about that, and you seen he read Lazarus up, right? But that was in the physical, but hey, we heard what Job said, he's waiting on the Lord in the spiritual, right? In the last day, he's waiting on him. So we understand this. Go ahead.
And shall present us with you.
Go ahead.
For all things are for your sakes, that the abundant grace might through the thanksgiving of many redound to the glory of God.
See, we need that grace, because hey, we almost miserable men. We done. But if it wasn't for the Lord to come and walk the walk, we all be finished. So that's the grace that we own. And I can't understand it how you break a law and you think that since Jesus walked the walk perfect, didn't break a law, that now you under grace no matter what you do. That don't make sense, people. So you don't have to keep the law that got you in trouble from the first place, and the Lord came and walked in that same law perfect to get you up out of that, and you think you don't have to go by that law, and that's the law that saved you by the Lord walking in it to do it. People, you better take the time to think about this stuff. You don't want no parts in second death. Let's not be foolish. Keep in mind, it's very important. Your life is on the line. Go ahead.
16. For which cause we faint not, but through our outward man perish, yet the inward man is renewed day by day. For our light affliction.
And that's what it is. Because the Lord went through, he gave you that grace. But in light affliction, you ain't have to strive into death. All you got to do is, hey, you can't watch no TV on the side. Right. That's light. You got to focus on God on the Sabbath. Hey, the Lord give you 7 days. 6 days to do whatever you want to do. And 1 day to focus on Him. That's fair as ever. That's fair. People don't understand it. That's so fair. He's a creator. He said, I'm going to give you 6. And I'll take more. Anybody out here tell you, don't want nobody stand up and say, you know what? We got 7 here. I'm just going to take 6 and you take 1. Then you're going to say, no, that ain't fair. But the Lord doing that. He's the creator. He's giving you that example. I'm going to take the less. And you don't even want to give him that. Woe unto you. Go ahead.
Which is but for a moment, working for us a far more exceeding and eternal weight of glory.
So he said it ain't even but for a moment. And you got some eternal coming. People don't understand. You talk to people about tithes, because, hey, I understand right now, dealing with tithes, this is so subject, because they killing people on money. They ain't covetous. But that's what the scriptures say. They greedy dogs. So I understand people that say about that. But when you really think about it, if you got $10, what did God say? Just give me 1. You got 10, I just want $1. You make 10, just give me 1. You can't. Come on. Come on. You got $1, Lord say, just give me a penny. Come on now. Go ahead, brother.
18. While we look not at the things which are seen, but at the things which are not seen. For the things which are seen are temporal, but the things which are not seen are eternal.
So that's where your mind should be focused on. Because Satan don't give you all the things that's temporal. But you want to look on the things you're not seeing right now. You want to have those spiritual eyes on it and understand what's going on out here, what can get you tripped up. That's the mindset you want to understand. Because, hey, they trying to kill you. They always been doing that. Let's go to John 3. John 3. Here's the Lord here showing, he talking to one of the religious leaders. Let's see this conversation that they're going through right now. John 3:1. Go ahead, brother.
There was a man of the Pharisees named Nicodemus, a ruler of the Jews. The same came to Jesus by night and said unto him, Rabbi, we know that thou art a teacher come from God.
See, he ashamed of Jesus because, notice what he came to him by night.
Right.
He makes sure nobody can see him. But he don't understand that, hey, if the Lord says you're going to be ashamed of him, he's going to be ashamed of you in the end. But at least he came, right? Mm-hmm. So he said there was a man of Pharisees named Nicodemus. We got a guy we call Nicodemus with us right now today. Named Nicodemus, ruler of the Jews. He said the son came to Jesus by night and said unto him, Rabbi, we know what?
We know that thou art a teacher come from God.
So he recognized that. He a religious man. But he recognized, he said, I know you're a teacher come from God. And how did he know that?
For no man can do these miracles that thou doest, except God be with him.
He said, you ain't going to be able to do that. It's some simple stuff. That's why he let you know it's simplicity in this thing. He said, hey, ain't nobody going to do the stuff that you do unless God be with him. So he was smart enough to see that. But go ahead.
3. Jesus answered and said unto him, Verily, verily, I say unto thee, except a man be born again, he cannot see the kingdom of God.
So he told him, hey, unless you be born again, you can't see the kingdom of God. And this went way over Nicodemus' head. But he was thinking in the terms that we're going to see that he was thinking rational, but it's over his head. But the Lord was showing him something. But go ahead. What did Nicodemus say?
Nicodemus said unto him, how can a man be born when he is old?
He said, man, how can he be born? And that's really a good question. Because we already know how, the concept of being born is. So he was like, man, how can he be born and he already old? I'm not understanding that. But go ahead.
Can he enter the second time into his mother's womb and be born?
So he said, can he go back in his mother's womb and be born? Because that's what being born is all about, right? Far as he knows. But go ahead.
Jesus answered, Verily, verily, I say unto thee, except a man be born of water and of the Spirit, he cannot enter into the kingdom of God.
So he said, if he ain't born of water and the Spirit, he can't enter into the kingdom of God. But we all know about the baptism, right?
Right. You
got to be born again. He have to understand that's what we're talking about here. You said if you ain't doing that, you ain't getting in. Because you got to change your mind. He's giving you an example. That's what you need. You need to change how you think and what things you do. So he said, very, very, I said to you, except for man be born of the water. So you got to get that baptism, you got to get that water in you. Then he said, and of the Spirit. Because then you start to, then the Lord said, hey, then the Holy Ghost going to come, right? You remember when you get baptized, what happened right after that, right? They came, when you read, the Spirit came on them, right?
Right.
They started speaking, right? So there you go. We're showing you this right here. And then he said, he cannot enter into the kingdom of God. Go ahead.
That which is born of the flesh is flesh, and that which is born of the Spirit is spirit.
Go ahead. He tell him, hey, what's flesh is flesh, and what's spirit is spirit. Just that simple. Let's not try to think. A lot of times we let our minds go too far and thinking stuff. Just like Solomon said, simple stuff. Like he said, people might say, I don't have no friends in the world, right? But he got a simple scripture for that. He said, he tell you right now, he said, if you want to be a friend, show thyself friendly. That sounds like, wait, hold up. This is easy. Yeah, it's easy. You ain't got no friends because you ain't friendly.
Right.
That is it. It's that easy. We don't need Nostradamus foolish stuff to figure out something. We don't need none of that. I just need some basics. He said that, verse 6, he said, that which is born of flesh is flesh, and that which is born of spirit is spirit. Verse 7.
Marvel not that I said unto thee, ye must be born again. The wind bloweth where it listeth, and thou hearest the sound thereof.
So he's letting you know, hey, it's like the wind. You hear it, right? It's blowing, you hear it. And what?
But canst not tell whence it comes.
So he said, you hear the wind. A lot of people say, yeah, I see the wind. You don't see no wind. You might see some leaves blowing around, but you ain't never saw the wind. You may feel it on your face, but you ain't never saw it. So he's showing you that's how the Spirit is. Go ahead, brother.
And whither it goeth, so is everyone that is born of the Spirit.
So you don't know. That's why when Jesus was coming, he was popping in and out on them. Apostles was nervous. They was all in the room. He pop in, peace be unto you. Whoa. He's on, whoa. Because they move like that. But go ahead.
9. Nicodemus answered and said unto him, how can these things be?
So he was like, this is blowing him. He's like, oh man, how could this be like that? How can it be like this? How? Go ahead.
Jesus answered and said unto him, art thou master of Israel, and knowest not these things?
So he had to let him know, ain't you Jesus, Israel? You got a master's, right? You got a master's and you don't understand? Well, a lot of people ask, they're like, you got a doctorate degree to be a preacher and all that. That's what he asked him. He had one too. He had a master's, right?
Right.
He didn't understand this, right? So much for his master's degree, right? Go ahead, brother.
11. Verily, verily, I say unto thee, we speak that we do know, and testify that we have seen, and you receive not our witness.
Yeah, because they don't have his witness. That's why they wonder and they see. They wondered with the apostles. They was like, we read through the scripture, we can't read everything. But they read through the scripture saying, they noticed the Pharisees and Sadducees, they know that they was ignorant men. They were ignorant, they said. But they noticed one thing else, that they were with Jesus. Because they spoke like that. It's like, how did these brothers know this stuff? And they ain't never been through our schooling. Just like right here. Nicodemus getting schooled. Go ahead.
12. If I have told you earthly things, and ye believe not, how shall ye believe if I tell you of heavenly things?
And if you don't believe what the stuff he was showing you, that you could see in your face, you ain't about to hear this earthly stuff. It's way beyond you, the stuff that ain't on the earth. Spiritual stuff is going to be behind you. Right. But go ahead.
And no man have ascended up to heaven, but he that cometh down from heaven, even the Son of Man which is in heaven.
So he letting them know, hey, I'm going. It's already there. I'm here, but I'm going to be there. He just letting them know, hey, it's a done deal, bruh. Go ahead.
And as Moses lifted up the serpent in the wilderness, even so must the Son of Man be lifted up, that whosoever believeth in him should not perish, but have eternal life. For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son.
We read this scripture, right? But now we still get some real understanding. Go ahead.
That whosoever believeth in him should not perish, but have everlasting life.
But we read in the beginning, hey, you need to keep the commandments of God so you can not perish, right? Into the lake of fire. But go ahead.
For God sent not his Son into the world to condemn the world, but that the world through him might be saved. he that believed on him is not condemned.
So if you believing on Christ, the one that's written in this book, because hey, there's another Christ out here, and he ain't this one. So if you believe in him, you ain't condemned. He said, he that believes on him, he said, he that believes on him is not condemned. So you ain't condemned if you follow this Christ here. But if you follow that one that say go on the first day, you condemned. If you follow on that one that was born on December 25th, you condemned. Because that's not this one here. Go ahead.
But he that believeth not is condemned already, because he have not believed in the name of the name of the only begotten Son of God.
He said, hey, you ain't believing that. The Lord said he went into the synagogue on the Sabbath day. That was his custom to do. So if you're not keeping that custom, trust me, you got a different God. It's just that simple. It ain't difficult. Real easy to figure out. Go ahead, brother, 19.
And this is the condemnation, that light is coming to the world, and men love darkness rather than light.
See, that's what I was talking about earlier in my opening. Because people, like, when they don't want to hear it, they love darkness. But then again, the scriptures say that. Sometimes I go in my mind, I'm like, they say that because he wrote it, said it, or they doing it because they do it. Hey, it don't even matter. Hey, they fulfilling prophecy. They love darkness, and that's where it is. He's saying this is the condemnation, that the light is coming to the world, and men love darkness rather than light. They love darkness. That's sometimes a hard pill to swallow when you try to tell people about this, even some of your familiars, your family, some of your foes. You tell them, you know, about this, and they like, I don't want none of that. They like evil. Like, man, my parents and brothers and sisters, they evil. This is wicked. That's what the book said.
Right.
Go ahead.
Because their deeds were evil.
Their deeds are evil. Go ahead, brother.
For everyone that doeth evil hateth the light.
Yeah. See, if you don't want to walk in the light, you hate it. And the light is Jesus, right?
Right.
So if you don't want the light when we know the light is Christ, then you hate him.
Right.
I'm just making it plain. Go ahead, brother.
Neither cometh to the light, lest his deeds should be reproved.
See, and that's what happens. You have to change. Trust me, people don't like to be corrected. You try to correct somebody, they mad and angry all the time. But once you start getting on the word, you start to understand, hey, sometimes you need to be corrected.
Right.
Nobody likes it, but hey, because you're evil. You ain't going to like stuff that's evil. You have to come up out of that and have your mindset understand is, if this person trying to tell me something right, and then sometimes they can be wrong, but you need to observe that stuff like Jacob did. When Joseph told him he was going to bow down to him.
Right.
He didn't just kick at that. He's there for a minute. He said, you know, me and your mama, we all going to bow down? Man, what? But it also said, hey, he observed the same. See, that's the thing you want to do. You want to make sure what somebody say to you, and if they say something to you that you don't like, it might be some correction. See if it's right, because you might be in need of some correction. Go ahead, brother.
21. But he that doeth truth cometh to the light, that his deeds may be made manifest, that they are wrought in God.
Yeah, so that's what happens when you come to light. You start to do what thus said the Lord. Start to do what's right. And ain't nothing wrong with that. We all know that this is the good book. Get on board and start doing it. And acting like it is. John 18. We getting down to the end. John 16, I'm sorry. John 16. And pick it up at verse 12. Jesus was talking to his disciples right here. Go ahead.
I have yet many things to say unto you, but ye cannot bear them now.
So he said, I got a lot of stuff to say to him, but you can't bear it now. But what?
Howbeit when he, the Spirit of truth, is come, he will guide you into all truth. For he shall not speak of himself, but whatsoever he shall hear, that shall he speak.
So he said, hey, he going to come speak, and whatsoever he speak, he ain't speaking of his own words. He's speaking it. That's what's wrong with the whole world today. Because all these preachers are going to tell you about what happened to them on one Thursday evening. They speaking of themselves. That ain't the spirit of truth. Trust me. That's the spirit of folly. That's right. See, these are the words you hear. That's how you know if you bearing the right fruit. Because you see the Lord talk about bearing fruit, right? Bearing the right fruit. This is showing you an example of that. Letting you know, hey, the fruit's going to be what match up here. What lines up here.
Right.
People always wonder, I don't want to be tricked. I don't want to be bamboozled. I don't want to be a hoodwink. I don't want to be led astray. Well, then see if those words line up here. You got a big book here, many books within one, to show you if it lines up right. So you don't have to walk around. Sometimes you come in your mind, you wonder, is this the true word of God? If it's true, all you got to do is simply open it up. If it lines up with this, it's good. If it don't line up with this, it ain't no good. It's that simple. And keep in mind, God's not going to put something out here where you can't tell the difference between the two. He ain't going to do that to you. This ain't a game where you go about. He going to make it real plain for you. That way, when judgment day comes, it's plain. You didn't want to listen. You didn't want to do what you were supposed to do. You didn't want to get baptized in the fire. Well, listen, the water, we're going to baptize you in some fire. Plain and simple. What verse you at?
End of 13.
Go ahead, finish that off.
And he will show you things to come.
And he's going to show you. That's how you know what the Spirit of truth do. He's going to tell you. That's what all this prophecy going on. That's what the European Common Mark going on. That's a whole nother lesson. But he's showing you stuff. That's what he do. He give you truth. He don't make you dance. They tell you the Spirit of truth. Oh, I got the Spirit full of me. It's full, Lord. Oh! That's foolishness. You get on TV, you start to see that stuff now, but you get some knowledge. You're like, how in the heck I even endure any of this stuff? These dudes ain't holy. These dudes got a devil on them. Normally, in a horror movie, you see people jumping around doing all that. You know, that's like horror. It's like a zombie, right? They doing it in church. Be doing it tomorrow. And that's supposed to be holy? Yeah, they got a spirit on them. Trust me. It ain't holy. Let's go further. 1 Corinthians. You already there, huh? Praise God, brother. 1 Corinthians 15. 1 Corinthians 15 and pick it up at verse 19. 15 and 19. Go ahead.
If in this life only we have hope in Christ. Let me restart that over. If in this life only we have hope in Christ, we are all men most miserable.
Yeah, because hey, if it weren't for him, we all most miserable. But go ahead.
But now is Christ risen from the dead and become the first fruits of them that slept. For since by man came death, by man came also the resurrection of death.
Yeah, so we talked about it in the beginning. We read a little bit about Adam, he sinned, right? So then we know that brought death for all men. We talked about that. Then now, hey, when Christ came, hey, he bringing us back to him. But go ahead.
For as in Adam all died, even so in Christ shall all be made alive.
Go ahead.
But every man in his own order. Christ the first fruits, afterward they that are Christ at his coming.
Go ahead.
Then cometh the end, when he shall have delivered up the kingdom to God, even the Father, when he shall have put down all rule and all authority and power.
Go ahead.
For he must reign till he have put all enemies under his feet.
So everything that the devil did in the garden, and all this evil, and all this terror, and all this horrifying thing, the Lord going to put an end to all of that. Go ahead.
The last enemy that shall be destroyed is death. For he hath put all things under his feet. But when he said, all things are put under him, it is manifest that he is accepted, which did put all things under him.
Go ahead, brother.
And when all things shall be subdued unto him, then shall the Son also himself be subject unto him that put all things under him, that God may be all in all.
Skip down to, go ahead, verse 29.
Else what shall they do which are baptized for the dead? If the dead rise not at all, why are they then baptized for the dead?
Yeah, so he's letting you know, hey, you got to be baptized. Well, we talked about that, right? Be born to be baptized, right? Keep going. Skip down to verse 35.
But some men will say, how are the dead raised up? With what body do they come?
Yeah, that's always a going thing, right? People say that. But hey, we got questions. We got answers. Go ahead.
Thou fool.
He called him a fool, right? Go ahead.
Thou which thou sowest is not quickened, except it die. And that which thou sowest not that body that shall be, but bear grain. It may chance of wheat or some other grain.
Go ahead.
But God giveth it a body as it hath pleased him, and to every seed his own body.
Go ahead.
All flesh is not the same flesh, but there is one kind of flesh of men, another flesh of beasts, another of fishes, and another of birds. there are also celestial bodies and bodies
So
terrestrial.
he's letting you know you got different types. You got celestial body, which is spiritual. You got terrestrial, which is physical. Go ahead.
But the glory of the celestial is one, and the glory of the terrestrial is another.
So he's letting you know, hey, it's different types. You got different type of birds. They all got different type of flesh. So he's letting you know it's multiple types here. Go ahead.
There is one glory of the sun, another glory of the moon, and another glory of the stars. For one star differed from another star in glory.
So they're not even all the same. Go ahead.
So also in the resurrection of the dead, it is sown in corruption, it is raised in incorruption.
That's why people understand. When he's showing you the difference in the stars and all that, that's why people say, hey, when you come back, you're going to be who you are. You got some people short, you got some people tall. He's letting you know, hey, but hey, we going to come back. We all going to be a little different because we all different right now.
Right.
Lord's practical. Go ahead.
43. It is sown in dishonor, it is raised in glory. It is sown in weakness, it is raised in power. It is sown a natural body, it is raised a spiritual body. There is a natural body and there is a spiritual body.
Go ahead, brother.
And so it is written, the first man, Adam, was made a living soul. The last Adam was made a quickening spirit.
This is Jesus. Go ahead.
Howbeit that was not first which is spiritual, but that which is natural, and afterward that which is spiritual. The first man is of the earth, earthy. The second man is the Lord from heaven.
Go ahead.
As is the
We
earth.
said you read in Genesis, you know we're going to made in his image, right? So he's showing you that exactly what happened in Genesis. He said, let us make man in our own image. So he's showing you that. He said, verse 47, he said, the first man is of the earth, earthly, and the second man is of the Lord from the heaven, right? He said, as the earth is, such what?
As is the earth earthy, such are also they also that are earthy. As is the heavenly, such are they also that are heavenly.
Go ahead.
And as we have borne the image of the earthy, we shall also bear the image of the heavenly.
Which is what we read before. Keep going, brother.
Now this I say, brethren, that the flesh and blood cannot inherit the kingdom of God, neither doth corruption inherit incorruption.
Because that's just simplicity. Because, hey, you a spiritual being, you live forever. So it ain't got nothing, you ain't going to need corrupt. So flesh can't enter in because it's corruptible. Go ahead.
But I show you a mystery.
Go ahead. What's that mystery, brother?
We shall not all sleep, but we shall all be changed.
So he said, hey, some people, because Lord, that first death, when I said death is death, yeah, that first death, yeah, you just, Lord, call that as sleep. Because we read with Lazarus, he was sleeping. So he's just asleep. And the Lord can make him come bring him back, which what he did, right?
Yeah.
So that's what that is. So he's letting you know, he's knowing you that. He said, behold, I show you a mystery. We shall not all sleep. So that's what that first death is. Just sleep, because the Lord can wake you up. See, when people sleep right now, we just say they sleep. Why? Because we can go over there, shake them and wake them up, right? But the Lord can wake you up even when you dead.
Right.
So he look at it as you just sleep, because I can wake you up. Go ahead, brother.
52. In a moment, in the twinkling of an eye, at the last trump, for the trumpet shall sound, and the dead shall be raised incorruptible, and we shall be changed.
Go ahead, brother.
For this corruptible must put on incorruption, and this mortal must put on
He
immortality.
said, hey, it's gonna put on, it must change. That's what must happen. When he said, let us make man in our image, hey, we gonna bear that image. But then again, you gotta make sure you're on the right side of the kingdom when you bear that image. Go ahead.
54. So when this corruptible shall have put on incorruption, and this mortal shall have put on immortality, then shall be brought to pass the saying that is written, death is swallowed up in victory.
Because he said he's going to put all up under his feet, right?
Right.
So everything that is sin, that's evil, he putting it up under his feet, even death. Go ahead.
O death, where is thy sting? O grave, where is thy victory?
Because right now it's a sting, right? When you have family members and loved ones passed away, it's a sting. But hey, the Lord wake everybody up and bring them up out of the grave, those doing what they're supposed to do, hey, ain't going to be no more sting in that. Go ahead.
The sting of death is sin, and the strength of sin is the law.
Go ahead.
But
Ain't that the strength? They act like that's the weakness, don't they?
Right.
He says the strength. Go ahead, brother.
But thanks be to God, which giveth us the victory through our Lord Jesus Christ. Therefore, my beloved brother, be ye steadfast, unmovable, always abounding in the work of the Lord.
So if you want to stay on path and do what you're supposed to do, go ahead.
For as much as ye know that your labor is not in vain in the Lord.
Because you're doing what you're supposed to do. That's why we work right now. So that we can avoid that second death and get in that first resurrection. Let's go to the last scripture. Matthew 28. 28 and 18. Go ahead, my brother.
And Jesus came and spake unto them, saying, all power is given unto me in heaven and in earth.
Yeah, but that's what he told Martha. That's how he raised Lazarus. He told her that. He said, I am the resurrection. So all power is given to heaven and earth, right? Because Lazarus was dead for 4 days and he raised him up. He said, and Jesus said, it came and spake unto them, saying, all power is given unto me in heaven and earth. And what he told them to do. Go ahead.
Go ye therefore and teach all nations, baptizing them in the name of the Father and of the Son and of the Holy Ghost.
Right, and we know that name, that one name is Jesus.
Yes, sir.
So you get some understanding and understanding, because a lot of people baptize, I baptize in the name of the Father and the name of the Holy. It don't even say that. It ain't even read like that. We only know that goes on that one banner. They said by the name of Jesus, every knee shall bow,
right,
and every tongue shall confess. That's the one you want to make sure. Verse 20, doing what?
Teaching them to observe all things, whatsoever I have commanded you. And lo, I am with you always, even unto the end of the world. Amen.
See, and the Lord is here. And he's here guiding all of us. Because you know why we know he's here guiding us? Because we can read his word in this book. Right. So, and his word lasts forever. It's going to be here to the end. Death is death, but the second is death. I thank y'all for y'all time.